Hello and welcome back to another Sports Rant. I'm your host Max Gallegos, and today we're talking a lot. We got some NFL content. Aaron Rodgers, where is he going? Alabama, Missouri. And of course, we got to talk about UNM's men's basketball team. Like, that's a given. And then you know what? We finally got back from the All-Star break. We got some NBA basketball tonight. Do a little segment on the NBA and NFL. A big chunk there in the middle for college basketball. Hope you enjoy it. So, starting out here with Aaron Rodgers. He flew out to New York, ready to re-sign with the Jets, wanting to play with them. And you know what they said? Bye-bye. No thank you. We'll find a new quarterback. Because I think this is for the Jets, this is probably a good move for sure. Like you have a new coach. You have all these good pieces, supposedly. You have all of this stuff, all of these moving pieces. You're wanting to build a new culture, and you want to really get this stain of this Aaron is our savior kind of jargon out of the building. If I'm Aaron Glenn, that's really what I want. Just turn over a new leaf. Even if you're bad, you were bad with Aaron. You were bad with shit. You like the last time you had a good quarterback was Mark Sanchez, and that was 20 years ago. So I think you just start afresh. You just turn over a new leaf. You just try and figure out what you can do with your pieces now. Build that culture, because Aaron Glenn has talked about, we need to build the culture. He wants to model the Jets culture very similarly to what he did in what Dan Campbell did there in Detroit, where he came from. I think that's probably the best move for the Jets right now. Like but oh boy, they are in hot water right now. But really, what I want more to talk about is, where is Aaron Rodgers going if he goes anywhere? Like, there's Las Vegas, Nashville. He has a home in Nashville, but Tennessee. Uh, like a lot of these quarterback needy teams that are like, the draft isn't really that strong. Do you take Aaron? There's LA. He's like trade him for Matt Stafford. But I don't really like that talk. I think Matt Stafford is if you're more bang for your buck for sure, but unless he wants crazy money. But anyway, that's more of the financial side of it. But if I'm the Titans, it's like, what do you trade for it? Or I guess, do you sign Aaron Rodgers as a bridge quarterback? Does he want to be a bridge quarterback for like Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, or just be the quarterback of the Titans until next season, right? Is that really where you want to go? Or maybe you are like Las Vegas and you're like, hey, you know what? Are you Tom Brady, like going in there like, hey, we need Aaron Rodgers to fix this? He's 40. And he's not Brady 40. He's like 40. He's like, he's coming off an Achilles injury. I feel like he should just retire. You don't want to be you don't want to be Matt Ryan. I saw a clip of Matt Ryan. He was with the CBS guys. He's sitting there. They're like, oh yeah, when did you realize you needed to hang it up? He was like, there were a couple times in Indy where I was like, ugh. Like, it was bad. It was ugly. You don't want to really end like that. You don't want to be Celtic Shaq, but a lot of these guys are just Celtic Shaq. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm just trying to preserve my dignity. If I were him, I would retire. I would just be like, it's time to hang it up. It's time to go. I've left my mark on football. There's not really much more I can do. It's time to just peace out into the sunset, become a podcaster. I don't know, like me. I realized I was a washed up athlete at 18, so I started podcasting. Anyway, to get into some different stuff right now, we have Alabama, Missouri. Whew! What a game. What a game. Oh boy. Missouri defeats Alabama 110-98. Missouri never trailed at home. They never trailed at home. Their coach right before the game ended said went over to the Mike Stanley was like, please do not storm the court. Because it was insane. And I kind of predicted this. I was like, you know what? Bama probably has the toughest um like remaining games out of any team in NCAA basketball. And I knew they were gonna drop like one or two games. I didn't think they would drop one to Mizzou. I mean, it was at Mizzou. Like this is, if I'm Alabama, I'm a little concerned. I mean, Mark Sears had 35 points on his birthday, but gotta be like back-to-back losses. One of them was at home. One of them played really bad against Auburn. I mean, you shot really bad against Auburn. But, whew. It was. I was like, oh crap, not again. But they have just ranked opponents coming up. They're Kentucky. They have Auburn again. They have Florida. That one's gonna be one to burn the barns down. But if I'm Alabama, it's a little concerning because you don't want to lose your placement because they are right now a 1 seed, and you really don't want to lose your placement. The SEC like once they get in like the SEC tournament, I feel like they'll be fine. But there's just a little bit of concern. There was some nasty text. Nate Oates just like he just throwing the clipboard down on the floor and gets teed up. But Missouri is good. Missouri never trailed. They were pretty damn flawless. They started off the game with a 12-0 run. Damn, like that's pretty impressive. And you know what? If you're Bama, if you're Auburn, you're kind of licking your chops. Auburn also played a nice game against played a close one against Arkansas today. Like that was just you get concerned sometimes if you're Auburn. It was kind of like a little bit of an upset alert, but then again, you know, anything can happen. Once it comes to March, it's just what happens on the hardwood stays on the hardwood. And whew, here we go. I'm so excited for this, but you know, I'm not excited to tell you. UNM UNM fell to Boise State tonight. Another game without Mustafa Amanzil. Um, though I kind of was half expecting this one a little bit. I was really like hoping they went to Boise, but if they were going to lose a game, it was going to be this one, especially just after what happened Sunday um, with just ups like just beating Utah State again, just so emotional, the victory. And this is just one like I was like, you know, like not no like we had one of the starters just laid an egg, no points in 28 minutes. Um, like Donovan Dent didn't play bad. He only had like 17. Nelly only had like 17. And Boise is a good squad. Big. I was rewatching their previous game before I left for work this morning, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Like I'm kind of worried about like Boise is just big. They're a really big squad, and like and like I said, they were gonna lose a game. It was probably gonna be that one because it's just like after an emotional victory, kind of fall off a little bit. You had to travel, all this other stuff. Probably didn't have a whole lot of practices between Sunday and today. So, you know, it is what it is. We'll see what happens with them moving forward. But, yeah, I think they probably will at least win the rest of their games. I think they'll lose back to back. That's red flag. But right now, there's no, if you're a New Mexico fan, there's nothing to really panic about. Um, like maybe San Diego State. San Diego State is probably one of the ones that if we need to beat. That's my biggest concern coming up in the Mountain West tournament in our game coming up again, because this is San Diego State is a team that has lost a lot of bad games, but also won a lot of really good games. They beat Houston, who is leading the Big 12 right now. I think they beat Baylor. They have some really good wins on their record. And they're a good team. I think New Mexico just needs to really just like stomp on the gas right now, just brush this one off and like understand. You know what? We're good. We're gonna roll. Um, so hopefully, hopefully they do. But we'll see as it comes. And then finally, I really wanted to talk. We finally got an NBA game tonight, which I was really excited about. I like watching the. I like. If you can't tell, I really like basketball. Basketball is one of my favorite sports. And we finally got a Hornets Lakers today. Of course, Hornets 100, Lakers 97. Close back and forth. The revenge game for Mark Williams and Dalton Connect, as you'd say. The trade that got canceled. It's like Adam Silver canceled the wrong. They canceled the wrong trade. Blah blah blah. I know it was an Adam Silver who canceled it. Anyway, it was a lot. It's good to get back watching the NBA, but there was this one interesting moment that really just stuck with me. Um, there was this one play. LaMelo is driving. He just drives past Luka, runs kind of into LeBron, and makes this like crazy circus shot layup. And it ends up in my basketball group chat with my siblings. We're talking, it's like, oh, it's like no foul, and it's like no travel, and we were talking about like the gather step, and I kind of like, since I'm elite ball knowledge here, um, I was like kind of like explaining. I was like, yeah, it's more of a like, because they were like, where's the why not the travel? And I was like, well, in the NBA and FIBA, you have you essentially have three steps. You have you can once you gather the ball, and then you have two steps after you gather the ball. So um, you have a gather step and your two steps. So what I was trying to explain to him is like, there's you really have more like three steps, and there was no real like foul. Also like, but anyway, that's really beside the point. What I really wanted to mention, and I've mentioned this before, just not in this high of quality, is like what makes the NBA probably less appealing as a product compared to like college basketball and just other stuff, like as like it's dipped in ratings and things. Um, is kind of the Europe Europeanization, I think is the phrase that we'll use. I coined that word. If there's a word for that, leave it in the comments. But there is the FIBA and the NBA's rules are a little bit closer together, like the gather step I talked about. That's why you see all these international stars or like international players kind of adjust to the NBA a lot faster than like the American guys, is because maybe because they played in a similar system. They played in the same FIBA system their entire they're like growing up. They played under FIBA, and then the NBA has like their rules are closer to that FIBA rule. So American kids now are growing up in with high schools, like with the high school and NC. They go to high school. It's the same rules as the NCAA, and when they go to college, they play the NCAA rules, which don't have that gather step, which don't have this uh, which don't have like these different like quirky rules. So it changes. And the gather step is I really don't like that rule personally, because it's a different. You have to play a completely different style of defense. You're coming off of because if you're defending 3 steps instead of 2 steps, you have there's so much like different like anticipation, but also like I also acknowledge that the AAU is kind of like ruined American style basketball, but um that is something that I've noticed too. Is like these guys will say, oh, they can't really defend, or blah blah blah. All they do is run and dunk, or all they do is huck threes, and it's like, well, because James Harden can pretty much step 3 times and get to an open shot. Has 3 steps to get into an open shot, and somebody guarding him who's like a rookie or a younger player coming out of the NCAA, coming out of high school NCAA, and then boom, NBA, completely different rules. It changes, and that's a hard. I feel like that's really hard for like a player to adjust to, because you're playing with that. Okay, I have to guard 3 steps, or I have 3 steps. Essentially, I have that gather 1-2 instead of just 1-2, right? So it's a different pace. The pace changes completely, and it kind of favors this international style of basketball where it's like, okay, we have um, you have that 1, 2, and 3, and that's what LaMelo Ball, who played in Latvia when he was a junior in high school, learned, and he really is this. He plays very European style. But anyway, I love talking. Like I was just breaking down the rules, but that's just something I kind of throw out there. I don't really like the gather step, but I'm not an NBA commissioner. What do I know? I'm just a guy on the internet. That's probably just going to be the video. Please like and subscribe. Go follow Instagram, X, Spotify. We're up on everything. Wherever you get your podcast, go ahead and click. If you're on that space, please rate and review. That really helps me out. And yeah, peace out. Let's go.